They don't tell you who the chosen one is until the moment comes, until the clock ticks closer, until the world leans in, quiet, watching, waiting for someone to step forward. And here you are, the one they didn't announce, the one they didn't warn, the one who suddenly holds the weight of expectation like a knife pressed to your own hand. Everyone else sleeps, moves, pretends it's just another day, but you know something they don't. You feel it in the pit of your stomach, the tension in your shoulders, the way the air seems to tighten around you. Monday morning is coming, and it doesn't wait. Preparation is the weapon of the chosen one. And isn't that a beautiful, terrifying truth? Most people walk through life thinking they can rely on luck, on timing, on someone else's guidance, someone else's hand to steady them when the moment comes. But the chosen one knows better. They know that luck is a mirage, that timing is a trick, that no one will ever hand you readiness on a silver platter. Preparation is not optional. Preparation is not a suggestion. It is the weapon, the shield, the quiet, invisible edge that separates those who falter from those who strike. And striking, my friend, is exactly what will be demanded when the world leans in and checks if you're ready. You see, preparation isn't flashy. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare, with applause, with recognition. It's quiet, insidious, and relentless. It's the long hours spent alone, sharpening the mind while everyone else sleeps, tuning the body while the world distracts itself, aligning every thought, every impulse, every ounce of energy into a single, deadly point of focus. The chosen one understands that preparation is not preparation for the moment. Preparation is the moment stretched across time, a continuous rhythm, a pulse that beats beneath the chaos, beneath the noise, beneath the indifferent eyes of the world. And isn't that thrilling? To know that while others waste their breaths on excuses, distractions, and trivialities, you are cultivating a force they cannot touch, a sharpness they cannot anticipate, a readiness they cannot imagine. It's a strange, intoxicating solitude, this constant honing of oneself, because no one else can do it for you. Teachers, mentors, guides, they can offer advice, point directions, but they cannot carry the weight of your preparation. No one can step into your rhythm, feel your tension, or prime your instincts. That responsibility, that power, that terrifying beauty, it belongs entirely to you. Preparation also demands honesty, brutal honesty. You cannot be the chosen one without facing yourself. Every weakness, every hesitation, every fracture in confidence must be acknowledged, examined, and sharpened. There is no hiding in preparation. There is no camouflage, no illusion, no pretending. The chosen one stares at their own reflection, every imperfection, every shadow, every doubt, and they confront it, wrestle it, and transform it into fuel. Preparation is alchemy. Fear becomes focus. Doubt becomes discipline. Weakness becomes the edge that cuts when everything else collapses. And the world, of course, is merciless. Monday morning doesn't wait. The moment doesn't care if you slept, if you stumbled, if you faltered in the days leading up to it. The chosen one understands that preparation is both defense and offense. It's a weapon held in the mind and body, in habits and instincts, in the small, unseen decisions made while everyone else is distracted, complacent, or asleep. Each repetition, each rehearsal, each silent hour spent building reserves of strength, skill, and resolve is another layer in a fortress that only the prepared can enter fully intact. There's also an elegance to it, a rhythm. Preparation is not just brute force. It is subtle, deliberate, measured. It is in the careful arrangement of priorities, the mindful allocation of time, the sharpening of senses to perceive what others miss. It is in the quiet, relentless consistency that makes sudden action appear effortless. The chosen one does not stumble into readiness. They walk into it, breathe into it, become it. And that is why preparation is the weapon. It transforms potential into inevitability, hesitation into momentum, and uncertainty into absolute command. And here's the cruel irony: most people underestimate it. They think being chosen is about opportunity, about fate, about luck. But opportunity is meaningless without preparation. Fate is silent until readiness meets it. Luck favors the one who has honed every angle, who has shaped every thought, who has burned the unnecessary and preserved only the sharp, the vital, the essential. And the chosen one understands this. They live in preparation, move in preparation, breathe in preparation, until the world finally presents the test that only they are ready for and only they can survive. Preparation is also intimate, personal, relentless. It demands obsession, focus, and sacrifice. It isolates, it challenges, it breaks and rebuilds over and over. It requires the kind of discipline that hurts, that aches, that feels heavier than the world itself. But in that pressure, in that tension, in that quiet crucible, the chosen one becomes something others cannot anticipate, cannot match, cannot comprehend fully. They are forged in silence, sharpened in solitude, tempered in consistency, and armed with the knowledge that when Monday comes, when the test arrives, when the world leans in and waits, only preparation will answer, only readiness will prevail, and only the weapon that has been honed in secrecy will strike. Time waits for no one. Urgency sharpens focus. And isn't that just deliciously cruel? The world moves relentlessly, ticking forward like an indifferent predator, indifferent to hesitation, doubt, or distraction. Most people think they have time. They lull themselves into the comforting illusion that tomorrow will offer opportunities to correct, to prepare, to adjust, to be ready. But the chosen one knows better. The clock does not pause. The seconds are not negotiable. Every tick is a step closer to judgment, to exposure, to the moment when preparation becomes the difference between triumph and collapse. Urgency is a strange thing. It pricks the nerves, tightens the chest, sharpens perception, and ignites a kind of focused madness. Some recoil from it, shrink from it, try to outrun it. But the chosen one embraces it. They feel the pressure, the weight, the relentless insistence of time slipping, and they do not flinch. Instead, they lean in. They move faster, think deeper, sharpen every instinct, align every resource. Urgency is not a threat, it is a tool, a refining fire, a lens that exposes what is essential and strips away what is unnecessary. People underestimate urgency because they confuse it with panic. Panic is blind. Panic is chaos. Urgency is precision in motion. It is clarity, awareness, and relentless forward momentum. The chosen one understands this distinction instinctively. They feel the pulse of the approaching deadline, the creeping inevitability of Monday morning, and they transform anxiety into discipline, pressure into energy, fear into action. There is an elegance to this transformation, a rhythm to working under the knife edge of time, a beauty in moving with intent, while the world around them hesitates. And the tension is exquisite. Everyone else is distracted by trivialities, delays, excuses. They dally with inconsequence, wasting precious seconds, thinking they have hours to spare. Meanwhile, the chosen one's focus narrows, every action aligned, every thought concentrated, every movement purposeful. Time is no longer just a measurement, it is a weapon, a scalpel that cuts away distraction, a reminder that nothing waits, nothing pauses, nothing forgives the unprepared. Every moment that passes sharpens the edge of inevitability, and the chosen one dances along that edge, moving with precision, timing, and lethal intent. Urgency demands honesty with oneself. It exposes weakness, laziness, hesitation, and excuses. The chosen one cannot hide from it, cannot pretend that delay is acceptable, cannot indulge in distraction. Each second becomes a mirror, reflecting what is left undone, what is unfinished, what is weak, what is not yet honed. And this reflection is merciless. It does not offer comfort, reassurance, or indulgence. It only shows what is real, what is required, what must be acted upon immediately. To ignore it is to surrender. To resist it is to falter. To embrace it is to rise, sharpened and ready. The urgency of time, also teaches focus. It strips away the superfluous, leaving only the essential. There is no room for hesitation, no space for indecision, no luxury for distraction. Every decision, every movement, every thought must be aligned with the goal, must serve the purpose, must move toward readiness. The chosen one feels this, understands it, and allows it to dictate action. It is not punishment. It is a privilege, a sharpening, a refining, a chance to transform raw potential into precise execution, and they take it fully, without flinching, without regret, without fear. And here's the delicious truth. Time's indifference is also a teacher. It punishes the unprepared. It rewards the ready. It exposes weakness. It validates discipline. It magnifies focus. Each passing second is a reminder that preparation is not theoretical, that readiness is not optional, that action waits for no one. The chosen one learns to move with the rhythm of the clock, to anticipate its ticks, to harness its pressure, to turn urgency into advantage. The world rushes past those who procrastinate, but it bends subtly around those who act decisively, shaping opportunities for the prepared, amplifying the impact of every focused choice. Urgency also sharpens perception in unexpected ways. The mind becomes alert, senses heighten, awareness stretched to the limit, and every detail matters. Small errors are magnified. Small hesitations are costly. Small opportunities are precious. The chosen one sees patterns others miss, notices shifts, senses gaps, predicts outcomes, and aligns action perfectly because the clock forces them to see clearly, to act decisively, to move without hesitation. The pressure is a lens, and through it, clarity emerges, precision becomes second nature, and readiness transforms into inevitability. Time waits for no one, and the chosen one knows this intimately. Each passing second is a hammer striking, shaping, demanding, exposing, and as the moments shrink, as Monday approaches, as the world leans forward in anticipation, the urgency does not merely remind, it compels, focuses, intensifies, and sharpens, leaving only one path forward: absolute preparation, absolute presence, absolute readiness. Because the clock does not care who falters, who hesitates, or who dreams. It only rewards the one who moves, who acts, who embraces the relentless momentum of time and turns it into power. Readiness comes from discipline, not luck. And isn't that just a delicious little sting? People love to whisper about fate, about chance, about being in the right place at the right time, as if the universe hands out victories like candy. But the truth, the bitter, beautiful, unflinching truth is that the universe doesn't care. It doesn't notice. It doesn't reward hope, prayer, or wishful thinking. Readiness, the kind that cuts through chaos and turns opportunity into triumph, comes from discipline. Discipline is the hidden engine, the silent weapon, the relentless pulse that keeps the chosen one moving while everyone else sleeps, hesitates, and dreams. Discipline is a strange creature. It doesn't charm you with applause, doesn't promise glory. It is quiet, unassuming, unrelenting. It shows up when no one else does. It whispers while the world is laughing, dancing, scrolling, distracted. Discipline is waking when your body screams for rest. It is focusing when your mind begs for escape. It is repetition, refinement, and stubborn insistence that the only way to be ready is to endure, to sharpen, to grind even when no one is watching. That is the secret most people never grasp. They think readiness is about luck, but luck is a liar, and discipline is the truth. And isn't it ironic? Luck looks bright, shiny, effortless. People chase it like moths to flame, blind to the fact that it only favors those who have already prepared. Discipline, on the other hand, is invisible, tedious, sometimes painful, always unnoticed, yet it produces results that shine like fire when the moment comes. The chosen one doesn't pray for luck. They cultivate discipline. They align mind, body, and spirit, and in that alignment, readiness is born, not by accident, not by chance, but by deliberate, persistent effort. Discipline demands sacrifice. It strips away comfort. It exposes weakness. It forces confrontation with laziness, distraction, and hesitation. There is no glamour in it, no applause, no immediate reward. It asks everything and gives nothing in return except preparation. And that is exactly why it works. The chosen one knows that every hour spent honing focus, every repetition, every disciplined decision is a deposit into the invisible bank of readiness, a capital that pays off at the precise moment when chance or fate, or whatever you want to call it, presents itself. And the beauty of discipline is that it transforms the ordinary into extraordinary. Every mundane action becomes meaningful. Every small choice compounds into power. Every consistent effort creates a rhythm, a momentum, a readiness that luck cannot manufacture. While the world blunders, hoping for serendipity, the chosen one moves predictably, relentlessly, tirelessly. Their preparation becomes inevitability. They do not rely on randomness, they rely on themselves, and that is a far more dangerous force than any coincidence or stroke of fortune. Discipline also teaches clarity. It clears the mind of clutter, the body of slack, the instincts of hesitation. It aligns attention with purpose, energy with direction, thought with action. The chosen one moves through chaos with precision because their discipline has hardened them like steel, sharpened them like a blade. Luck may knock on doors, but readiness built on discipline smashes them open. And when the moment arrives, it is not chance that carries them. It is the muscle memory of hours, days, weeks, months of relentless preparation, invisible to everyone else, but alive, vibrant, and lethal in execution. There's also a strange, intoxicating intimacy to discipline. It isolates, it forces reflection, it reveals character. When no one is watching, when the world is silent, the chosen one faces themselves in the mirror of effort. Every shortcut avoided, every repetition endured, every temptation ignored, is a measure of strength. That strength compounds, builds, and becomes readiness, a quiet storm beneath the surface, unnoticed until the precise moment it erupts into action. Luck may come and go, fade or fail, but discipline endures. It persists, it grows, silently, invisibly, inevitably. And isn't it deliciously cruel how people underestimate it? They see the results, the triumph, the poise, the execution, and they whisper about luck, coincidence, or innate talent, blind to the discipline that carved it. Invisible but omnipresent. Discipline is the shadow behind the flash, the pulse behind the motion, the foundation beneath the tower. Readiness does not come from wishing, praying, or hoping. It comes from daily, relentless discipline, from embracing the grind, from choosing consistency over comfort, from understanding that when Monday morning arrives, only the discipline will stand ready, while the rest stumble, falter, and wish they had paid attention to the work nobody saw, to the preparation that nobody applauded, and to the discipline that made all the difference. Fear and doubt must be transformed into action. And isn't that just deliciously ironic? Most people are terrified of fear. They run from it, hide from it, deny its presence, pretending that if they ignore it, it will go away. But the chosen one knows something different. Fear is not an enemy. Fear is a fuel. Doubt is not a barrier. Doubt is a compass. They are signals, whispers of what matters, reminders that the moment ahead is real, dangerous, demanding. To ignore them is to remain weak, to shrink in the shadows. To embrace them, to turn them into movement, is to take power that others cannot even see. Fear is subtle. It creeps in when you least expect it, twisting your thoughts, tightening your chest, quickening your pulse. Most people mistake it for weakness, for failure, for a signal to stop. But the chosen one reads it differently. Every shiver, every hesitation, every flicker of anxiety is a marker, a guide pointing toward what must be confronted, what must be acted upon, what must be mastered. Fear is a teacher. Doubt is a test, and the test is always active. Because the world does not pause while you struggle to understand yourself. Action under fear is an art. It is not brash, not chaotic, not reckless. It is measured, precise, deliberate. It is the quiet decision to step forward when every instinct screams to retreat. It is the transformation of nervous energy into kinetic force, of hesitation into momentum, of trembling uncertainty into a sharp, focused drive. The chosen one moves even when fear whispers, even when doubt taunts, even when the mind screams that the task is too great, that the world is too cruel, that the hour is too late. Action is the response, and in that response lies power. Doubt, like fear, is a mirror. It reflects back the insecurities, the questions, the limitations that we often refuse to face. But reflection without action is useless. Doubt must be confronted, dissected, and converted into fuel for movement. Every question, can I do this? Will I succeed? Am I enough? Becomes a lever, a tool, a point of leverage to push forward rather than retreat. The chosen one does not indulge in self-pity or endless analysis. They feel doubt. They acknowledge it. And they use it, bending it into purpose, discipline, focus, and relentless drive toward readiness. And here's the beauty. When fear and doubt are transformed into action, they become invisible to the world, but impossible to ignore in effect. Others may look at the chosen one and see calm, poise, precision, but underneath there is a storm of energy harvested from moments that would have shattered the unprepared. Fear sharpens attention, doubt strengthens resolve, and action channels both into something undeniable. The chosen one becomes a force, not because they lack vulnerability, but because they learn to bend vulnerability into movement, turning internal chaos into external power. It is also a kind of rebellion. Most people shrink from what frightens them, bow under what challenges them, surrender to uncertainty. The chosen one does not. They stare into the abyss, feel the tremor, sense the quiver of uncertainty, and they step into it anyway, eyes open, heart racing, mind focused. Every step taken in spite of fear is a declaration. Every decision made through doubt is a testament. The world may not recognize the internal struggle, but it feels the external result. Power, presence, inevitability, these are forged in the furnace of action taken when every instinct resists. The transformation is cumulative. Every confrontation with fear, every choice to act despite doubt, strengthens muscles of mind, body, and spirit that most people never develop. Each victory over hesitation, each deliberate step forward, builds momentum, creating a cycle where fear and doubt feed the very resolve that will carry one through the impossible. The chosen one learns to welcome the whispers of anxiety, the tremors of uncertainty, because they know these are the raw materials of preparation, the building blocks of readiness, the unseen engines that drive the visible results. And isn't it delicious how the world misinterprets it? Observers may call it courage, brilliance, talent, or luck. They may never see the storm inside. The microseconds of tension transform into motion, the relentless energy harvested from what most fear to feel. But the chosen one knows the truth. Fear and doubt are not obstacles, they are instruments. Instruments to be tuned, played, and wielded. Action is the melody. Discipline is the rhythm. Readiness is the harmony. And in that symphony, the chosen one moves, unstoppable, unflinching, and quietly inevitable, because the fear that would freeze others has been transmuted into the fuel that drives every calculated, deliberate, and necessary step forward every moment. Before Monday is a tool, a test, a chance. And isn't that deliciously terrifying? Most people look at the hours ahead as empty space, as something to be filled with trivial distractions, fleeting pleasures, meaningless chatter, while the clock ticks steadily toward judgment, toward the moment when preparation transforms into consequence. But the chosen one knows better. Every second, every breath, every micro-decision is a weapon, an opportunity, a step closer to readiness. The hours are not passive. They are alive, waiting to be shaped, exploited, mastered. And the world rewards only those who understand their weight. The beauty of time before the storm is its invisibility. No one notices it. No one applauds it. It slips past observers unnoticed. Yet it holds everything. People squander it because they fail to see it as alive, as pulsing with potential, as a battlefield of discipline and focus. But the chosen one moves differently. Every moment is accounted for, every microsecond honest. They do not waste a glance, a thought, a movement. Each action is deliberate, calibrated, designed to sharpen, prepare, and fortify them for what is coming. The hours before Monday are a crucible, and the chosen one immerses themselves fully, willingly, obsessively. And isn't it thrilling to know that while others are distracted, fumbling, floundering in indecision, you are constructing yourself moment by moment, like a weapon forged in secret fires? The hours demand everything: attention, energy, honesty, focus. They expose weakness, impatience, complacency. They do not forgive laziness, distraction, or indulgence. But in that exposure lies power. The chosen one learns more about themselves in these fleeting, intense hours than most ever learn in a lifetime. Every hesitation, every fleeting distraction, every choice to act or to abstain is magnified, recorded, and transformed into knowledge, skill, and momentum. These moments also teach control. The world is chaotic, unpredictable, relentless, and most people respond poorly. They panic, procrastinate, overthink, crumble. The chosen one, however, uses these moments to train the mind, the body, the instincts. They cultivate calm under pressure, clarity under chaos, decisiveness under uncertainty. Each second is a rehearsal, each hour a simulation of inevitability. The discipline developed in the quiet, unnoticed moments becomes the weapon wielded in the decisive one. And the world, of course, never sees the preparation, it only feels the result. Like the strike of a hand that has been guided by unseen precision, opportunity hides in preparation. Every small choice made before the reckoning, every task completed, every habit formed, every shadow confronted, compounds into advantage. Most people wait for clarity, for guidance, for the world to give them a reason to act. The chosen one knows there is no signal, no permission, no guarantee. The hours before Monday are the reason, the permission, the inevitability. They take the moments, squeeze them, burn them into fuel, and forge from them the readiness that will leave everyone else scrambling, surprised, and irrelevant. There is also a brutal honesty in this time. The chosen one cannot hide behind excuses, rationalizations, or illusion. They are confronted with the raw truth. Action must be taken. Preparation must be completed. The work must be done. Each moment acts as a mirror, reflecting what is incomplete, what is weak, what is still unsharpened. And the mirror is unforgiving. You can glance away, you can rationalize, you can delay, but the world is moving. The clock is ticking. And Monday will not wait for anyone's comfort. The chosen one leans into this truth, embraces it, and allows it to shape every thought, every choice, every movement. And the tension is exquisite. Time presses, pressure mounts, and the weight of the approaching moment focuses energy like nothing else can. The chosen one uses it, channels it, converts it into movement, into decision, into readiness. Every microsecond spent doubting, every hesitation, every distraction is a lost advantage, a weapon handed to the unprepared. But every conscious choice, every deliberate action, every second used wisely compounds, amplifies, and transforms into momentum, confidence, and inevitability. Most people do not understand the hours before a moment of reckoning. They squander them, waste them, sleep through them, distract themselves from the truth that every second is alive, that every tick is a test, and that readiness is not given, it is seized. The chosen one, however, moves through the hours like a predator through shadows, silent, deliberate, calculating, aware, exploiting every opportunity, refining every skill, sharpening every instinct. Time itself becomes an ally, a tool, a weapon in their hands, while everyone else remains blind to its power. And isn't it delicious how invisible this is? No one notices the grinding effort, the relentless focus, the small victories of attention and discipline until the moment comes. Then, suddenly, the world sees the result, feels the impact, experiences the inevitability, and has no idea what storm of preparation made it possible. The hours before Monday were the crucible, the mirror, the teacher, and the weapon. And the chosen one emerged forged, sharpened, and unstoppable, while everyone else sleeps, distracted, unready, and entirely irrelevant. Responsibility cannot be delegated. Only you can rise. And isn't that a wonderfully cruel truth? The world loves to whisper illusions of shared burdens, collective effort, borrowed courage, as if someone else could step in. Someone else could carry the weight. Someone else could make the hard choices while you linger in safety. But the chosen one knows better. Responsibility is intimate, it is relentless, and it cannot be passed along. When the hour comes, when Monday arrives, when the moment of reckoning stares you in the face, the weight lands squarely on your shoulders, and the world does not soften it, does not negotiate it, does not wait for you to catch your breath. Only you can rise. And rise you must. There is no shortcut, no delegation, no magic to make the burden lighter. It is yours. It is constant. It is immediate. The chosen one feels it pressing against their chest, vibrating through their bones, whispering that hesitation is not an option, that delay is a luxury reserved for those who are content with mediocrity. Responsibility sharpens perception, focuses intention, and forces action in ways comfort and complacency never could. It is brutal, intimate, and exhilarating because it exposes the gap between who you are and who you must become. Most people recoil from this truth. They hide behind excuses, shift blame, rationalize inaction, delude themselves with the notion that someone else will step in. But the weight of responsibility does not bend to denial. It does not pause for fear. It waits silently, growing heavier, pressing further, until the one who must bear it either rises or crumbles. The chosen one does not flinch. They lean into it. They feel the pressure, breathe it in, and let it forge them into something sharper, faster, more precise than anyone else could imagine. Responsibility is also a teacher, a relentless one. It reveals weaknesses, exposes hesitation, and uncovers cracks in resolve that you might never see in the comfortable light of distraction. Each task ignored, each decision postponed, each moment wasted is a mark left on the soul, a scar that reminds you of your potential and your failure simultaneously. The chosen one cannot ignore these marks. They study them, understand them, and use them as fuel, converting the burden into a weapon, the weight into momentum, the pressure into performance. And here's the exquisite cruelty of it. Responsibility is silent. It does not applaud. It does not praise. It does not recognize the struggle, the effort, the vigilance, the focus, the preparation, all invisible. Only the results are visible. Only the impact is recognized. Only the victory or the failure is acknowledged. The chosen one works in obscurity, in isolation, in the quiet moments that nobody else bothers to see, and that is precisely where the edge is honed. The world only feels the outcome, but the preparation, the discipline, the relentless ownership of responsibility is hidden, uncelebrated, and essential. Rising under responsibility requires both courage and strategy. It is not brute force. It is not reckless action. It is the quiet alignment of intention, focus, and action in a way that channels energy efficiently, that sharpens decision-making, that makes every movement deliberate. The chosen one does not panic, does not stagger, does not waste precious seconds. Each action is a statement. I am here, I am accountable, I am ready, and nothing will stop me from meeting the demand placed squarely on my shoulders. Responsibility also teaches timing. The chosen one learns to act when hesitation would be disastrous, to pause when rashness would be fatal, to calibrate each movement with precision and intent. The hours before the moment are filled with silent rehearsal, self-assessment, and relentless refinement because every second carries weight. Every micro-decision becomes a test. And every instinct must be sharpened. Responsibility cannot be outsourced. It must be embodied, owned, and executed flawlessly. And isn't it deliciously isolating? Most people rely on others, cling to collective support, hide behind safety nets, and never truly feel the weight of their choices. The chosen one does. They carry the burden alone. And in that solitude, they discover strength, clarity, and inevitability. Every glance, every hesitation, every moment of self-doubt is transformed into awareness, precision, and relentless action. There is no comfort, no delegation, no crutch, only the raw, unrelenting demand to rise, to meet the weight, to transform responsibility into a weapon that cannot fail, a force that cannot be denied, and a presence that the world cannot ignore. The world does not wait. The moment does not pause. The burden does not soften. Only you can rise. Only you can bear it. Only you can turn responsibility into readiness, fear into fuel, doubt into action, and time into a weapon that propels you forward, sharper, stronger, and inevitably closer to the culmination that only the chosen one can achieve, because no one else will, no one else can, and no one else is standing in the storm. Like you, true power is forged in silence, tension, and relentless effort. And isn't that a delightfully cruel truth? The world is obsessed with spectacle, with noise, with the clamor of those who demand attention, flash, and applause, as if the loudest voice could ever substitute for the depth of preparation. But the chosen one understands a secret most never notice. Power is quiet, subtle, invisible until it strikes. It grows not in crowds, not in applause, not in recognition, but in the stillness of relentless effort, in the tension of repeated practice, in the silence where no one is watching. It is forged alone, honed meticulously, sharpened in obscurity until the moment arrives, and the world feels the impact without ever seeing the hand that delivered it. The beauty of silent preparation is in its invisibility. Others measure themselves by what they see, by what is loud, by what is declared. The chosen one measures themselves by what they feel, by what they do, by the invisible progress that accumulates with every hour, every repetition, every microsecond of focus. Tension is their teacher, effort is their weapon, and silence is their shield. While the world chases recognition, the chosen one bends the hours to their will, converts pressure into skill, anxiety into focus, and expectation into performance.